Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show Bill Schuyler here for One Wrestling. The Schuyler Report presents Ring of Honor All-Star Extravaganza 8 live from Lowell, Massachusetts, September 30th, 2016. Friends, I'm going to tell you right now, if you did not see this show, once you're done hearing me break it down, you need to get yourself out there, my friends, and get this show, no matter what you got to do, beg, borrow, or steal, and see this absolute barn burner of a pay-per-view. This is what Ring of Honor is all about. This is what makes people say Ring of Honor truly is that superstar breeding ground for professional wrestling. Let's get right into it. Speaking of superstars, the TV title match on the line. Bobby Fish versus Donovan DiJACK. Bobby Fish, one half of Red Dragon, one of the greatest tag teams in the business today. But he's on his own here, proving that he's not a one-trick pony, my friends. And Dijak standing way over Bobby Fish. Big man, but size didn't matter as Bobby Fish outfought, out-wrestled, and outclassed hometown hero Dijak. Fish worked on his spindly legs, which pretty much won the match as Dijak's knee was done early on. Fish was just too experienced and too much smarter in the ring, and the match was stopped as Bobby Fish hit the rear naked choke on Dijak and retained the TV title. Fish has truly become a star with the whole package. He's got the moves, the look, the mic work, plus tremendous in-ring psychology. It's time for him to make that next move, whether that's him having the Ring of Honor world title put around his waist and the company pushing him to the moon, or for him to take it 100% into New Japan. He's got one foot in. He might either jump in all the way, or truly, I believe it will be time for you, Bobby Fish, to take that run up north a little further, bear right, WWE, and then work your way down to Florida for NXT and become a true superstar. Now, we then got the #1 contenders tag title. That's what this match is on the line with. We have Rhett Titus and Kenny King versus Shane Taylor and Keith Lee versus War Machine, Hanson and Rowe, and Dalton Castle with the boys, and Colt Boom Boom Cabana. Whoa, my friends, this was well, let's just say, let's get into it. We had a solid match, but it was totally chaotic, and basically it was a hot mess in the first half of this match, with way too many tags and what just looked like mass confusion between the wrestlers. War Machine and Lee and his partner went to town on each other, which seems to be leading to pretty much a major feud to come sooner rather than later. And we got poor Kenny King here, after a completely cursed TNA run, is back with Titus, and just nothing for nothing. Rhett Titus is a good wrestler, but Kenny is too talented, and he belongs either in the WWE or New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's really being wasted in his role here in Ring of Honor. That's all I got to say about that right now. I'll talk about Kenny King, King of the Night, and another time down the road. Colt Cabana and Castle, two characters that are you either love them or hate them on guys, and I dig both of their gimmicks. I'm glad to see Colt is back in Ring of Honor, and not just relegated to indie work, and having a run back at the big time, because he's just way too talented in ring, out of the ring, behind the scenes. I mean, this is a guy that one day is going to be a major player and creative for somebody's promotion. And Dalton Castle's gimmick is destined to be a huge success, without a doubt. WWE, that's where Dalton Castle belongs. I had a conversation at one point, one night, I'm sure he doesn't recall, but we talked about it, and he's just, TNA didn't know what to do with him. NXT will push that guy and make him into a major talent that's going to be known worldwide. They need to sign him ASAP. And Taylor and Lee, these guys have a bright future in front of them, and they too need to make that move to NXT, and not waste their time down here in Ring of Honor, unfortunately, because there's just too much out there, and they're not going to get the push they need, in my opinion. All right, I mean, this match, we wound up with Dalton Castle and Cabana getting the win, even though the two of them kind of went against each other, and were fighting to see who was going to get the pin. But the boys made it. Let's see what Ring of Honor does with this odd couple of a tag team. We then had, let's see if I get this cat's name right, Itachi versus Dragon Lee. Already certified stars down in Mexico, having a match of the year contenders superstar match at Fantastica Mania Tour, and it shows they work a great back and forth, hitting counters, looking like true veterans. They worked each other over with some nasty, violent moves during a floor battle. Lee nailing a running drop kick over the barricade after Itachi had whipped him in through and over the barricades quite a few times. Once they took it back in the ring, Lee nailed a series of fantastic drop kicks and in a badass over-the-top rope dive. Lee then put Itachi in the tree of woe on the outside of the ring, hit a double stomp on him, and Lee continued to dominate. But Itachi hit his exploder, sending Lee out to the floor, followed by a big senton on the floor. It looked like it was going to end in a double countout, with both sliding back in the ring at the last second and both trading chops on each other while they were on their knees. These guys continued with tons of moves, hitting some killer suplexes, Germans, Northern Light, lots of near falls, and Lee hit the Phoenix play and dropped Itachi dead on his head for the win. I said it, directly on top of his head. These two, I feel, will not be in Ring of Honor for long. They're perfect contenders for either New Japan. Obviously, they can do what they want to do down in Mexico. But again, one more set of guys that are perfect contenders for a future in NXT. And I'm saying all this, and take it for what it's worth. If Sinclair Broadcasting could really get behind Ring of Honor and be willing to take them to that next level, all right, a level that, say, Impact Wrestling has been at for quite a while. It just seems that Sinclair, they got a solid promotion. They make good money. And everything is right there, but they don't want to take it up here and take a risk. It's a calculated risk. I understand that. It's not my money that I'm talking about playing with. But if they want to be that definite number go-to promotion in the Northern Hemisphere. They've got to do it. If not, they're just going to continue to be the spot for breeding superstars that are going to go to the WWE and blow up and make tons of money for that company when they could be doing it right here in Ring of Honor. Because Ring of Honor has got one of the biggest, deepest, hard-hitting, smash-mouth fan base on the planet. And I just think, they need to do what they need to do to take it and make Ring of Honor just be the place to be. Wow. And again, what a match. These guys here, you got to check them out. They are unreal. All right, then we had Adam Page versus Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly, the second half, the tag team partner for Bobby Fish for Red Dragon. Kyle O'Reilly, one of the greatest wrestlers in the business today. Adam Page, my opinion, is not quite there yet. He could be. And unfortunately for these two guys, they put on a solid, good meat and potatoes style match that unfortunately was booked at the wrong time, trying to follow up the lightning-paced Blitzkrieg high spot match that we just had, and it just kind of fell flat, and the crowd was just totally still blown away and out of breath by Dragon Lee and Kamitachi's balls to the wall style match that they had. Kyle O'Reilly won, and afterwards was attacked after the bell by Page, who put Kyle in a chair, his arm in a chair, and posted him hard. Red Dragon, representing Bobby Fish, came down making the save and chasing off Adam Page. Like I said, a really, really solid match, just went at the wrong time. Otherwise, I think the crowd would have really been behind it, and it would have been a really more solid match. I mean, the guys were wrestling a good, solid, old style, old school kind of match, which I love, but it was more slow paced, and the crowd was just wiped out, like I said, from that other match. Now that they had their time to get themselves together, let me take a sip here, my friends. A little libation. We then had a 6-man tag title tournament match. All right, we had the BRISCOES and TORU YANO versus ACH, Jay White, and KUSHIDA. New Japan favorite KUSHIDA. All right. And, great match, exciting, fun, fast-paced, because KUSHIDA is not only a favorite in New Japan, but he is the absolute, now the go-to man, the favorite New Japan talent that's here in Ring of Honor since since Nakamura left. He's continuing to grow into a stateside star, which I've been saying since the first time I saw him. This kid is outstanding. Jay White was given a good run here as well, and the BRISCOES never failed to entertain. And of course, perennial favorite ACH is just too good to fail, and he picked up the win via the Midnight Star. ACH is apparently is very comfortable and is being taken care of pretty well here. But I think this kid deserves now to be NXT, Raw, SmackDown. Now that they have that cruiserweight division, I think it's not going to be long before they're knocking on the door for this kid to push him to make him a star and put that belt around his waist. The BRISCOES, them guys are just not, they're not WWE guys. They are Ring of Honors. They bleed Ring of Honor. They are this company's. They're like the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. They are never going to leave Ring of Honor because they are the company, and the company is the BRISCOES. Again, I'm loving to have this six-man title. That's just a great throwback to the NWA. Great thing. We then have a non-title match with former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion and TV Champion, one of the greatest champions that Ring of Honor's had, and of course a former X Division star in TNA. Who am I talking about? You know who I'm talking about. We're talking about Jay Lethal Black Machismo once back in the day, and now that Jay came to Ring of Honor, came back, he proved who he is, and what he is all about. And they had that belts around him. They did what they did. And now that he had his contract with him, I don't know, it just seems like they took it away, and now Jay's not up there in the main event, which is kind of making me upset, because Jay Lethal, in my opinion, is destined to be the NXT champion and to make his way to the main roster in the WWE and be that Intercontinental, that U.S. champ, and eventually be a world champion in the WWE. I'm saying it now. Take it to the bank. Somewhere down the road, you're going to see Jay Lethal in the WWE, and it needs to be sooner rather than later. Too talented to be down here when he could be up here as a major star. Ring of Honor fans, you could throw me hate mail on that. Ring of Honor bosses can hate me for saying it, but once again, unless Sinclair is going to rev it up, tweak that engine, and just burn it down the road, just going to sit here and just run in here. Your pond is small. Your pond is full of sharks. You got no minnows. You got nothing in here but bona fide killers in your pond. And they can't stay in a pond. They need to move on, brother. And you need to push them. Ring of Honor fans, you should be just clamoring and hitting them guys on the Twitter, on Facebook, online when you're at the shows, telling them that, damn it, we want these guys to get us up here to that next level. You know, how can we have NXT stepping over us and becoming what we were and then taking it to that next level? Why? Because the WWE is behind it and they're pushing them there. But you've also got Impact Wrestling, TNA, which for the last 12 years, all right, they were where Ring of Honor was, went past Ring of Honor, and have continued to be that much higher than them with a bigger TV deal, with, bigger money, bigger stars, and Ring of Honor could have been there all this time. I'm venting because I'm passionate about this company. And you guys are more than passionate. And I know you don't want to lose your guys. And I know you're afraid for them to go to that next level, because then it doesn't feel, it's like your favorite rock band that comes there and they're playing in a smaller venue, and you're there meeting them, having beers with them after the show, and all like that. And you know that once they get to that next level, all right, the barricades are going to be there, the security's going to be around, and you're not going to be able to hang out, with the guitar player, the bass player, the drummer, the singer, and rock and roll with them all night. And the same way you can't hang out and be with the boys after the show here, with Ring of Honor, and hang out with these guys at the bar later on that night doing what you're going to do. You're afraid you're going to lose that, and you will. But you're going to gain so much more by these guys just becoming wrestling gods. Because that's what these guys deserve. They deserve to make that money. They deserve to have that acclaim. These guys put it on the line every single night for you guys. They bust their asses. They bleed. They're bruised. They're busted up. And they do insane moves. Things that shouldn't even be thought about in the human mind. And these guys pull it off for you every night. And they deserve to make the coin for doing that. Again, that's the show. Bill Schuyler giving you my opinion. Take it to the bank if you will. Hate on me if you want. But the truth is what it is. Now, back to where we were. Jay Lethal in a non-title match. Non-title. Damn it. Versus the Intercontinental Champion, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tetsuya Naito, with Evil at his side. Now, of course, Naito, and I'm probably saying his name wrong. Forgive me if I do. Former, just recently, IWGP World Champion. Now, the Intercontinental Championship kind of goes back and forth in Japan. It's a little bit different than it would be, say, in the WWE, where the world champ is the world champ, and the Intercontinental guy is right here. You know, they may get popular and be close, but at the end of the day, world champion is the world champion. They're main eventing. Intercontinental in New Japan, for you guys that don't see it, and you see this at the big show on January 4th every year, Wrestle Kingdom. There's times where that Intercontinental title is the main event, and believe me, it deserves to be that main event. And that's why I think Jay Lethal should have got a title match. I mean, you're talking two former world champions here. All right, and in Ring of Honor, that TV title is their secondary title. So you got Tetsuya Naito here with the secondary title for New Japan, and they should have got that. And see what happens here, whether you like it or not, is that New Japan and Professor Quintana, my brother in the Big Slam Nation, it talks about this quite often, is that New Japan comes in here to Ring of Honor and they own them all the time. You're not going to see the Ring of Honor guys coming in taking up major titles too often from New Japan. Just saying what it is. Because New Japan Pro Wrestling is above and beyond Ring of Honor as well. They're huge. Huge. They're huge. To quote the Donald. You know, worldwide, they are the number 2 promotion globally. They are number 2 behind the WWE. And you got New Japan Pro Wrestling, who's been growing their reputation in the States to the point that they get their own television show every Friday night. And they're showing old matches from a year ago to 2 years ago, but it don't matter because they're showing stars that are now in the WWE. Shinsuke Nakamura, Prince Devitt. Okay, of course, you know, names have changed. But, you know, all these guys are now, they're catching them in the WWE, and then they're going to New Japan and checking that out, and they're bypassing Ring of Honor, where you have Ring of Honor having 2 major joint shows every year, Global Wars, that type of thing, which I love those 2 pay-per-views every year. And that's what originally got me into New Japan, and got me into New Japan more than Ring of Honor. But that's a story for another day. Naito attacked the ring announcer as soon as Lethal was heading out to the ring, which had Jay running for the save, whooping Naito's ass and tossing him to the floor. Got some solid brawling out there on the floor, and Lethal hit a suicide dive and got a near fall. He continued to dominate, but Naito hit Lethal with a tornado DDT and choked him out with his shirt. He followed up with a corner drop kick combo for the 2 count. Lethal fought back with a lethal combo, leading to a double down and almost got the pin. Lethal nailed a belly-to-belly suplex and then rolled into another, and he nailed a third, went up top and hit the elbow drop for the 2 count. Naito fought back, hitting a missile drop kick and put him up top and hit the Rana for a near fall. He followed that up with a my friends, and Lethal blocked his move, the Destino, 2 times, hitting the cutter for the 2nd time. He went for the lethal injection, but Naito countered it and nailed him with a rolling kick for 2. Evil distracted Jay Lethal, and Naito got in 2 near falls. Evil then pulled the ref to the floor. They attacked Jay Lethal. He and Naito working him over, but Lethal dropped Evil and hit a springboard cutter for 2. Finally, Jay was able to nail the lethal injection for the win over the Intercontinental New Japan Pro Wrestling champion, but it's not a title. Hopefully this will lead to Jay getting a title match some point in the near future, if he's still here, if he hasn't got his way to the WWE. Jay, you belong there, brother. You truly do. If TNA Impact Wrestling wants this weekend of speculation and unknowns what's going to happen with who's going to own this company, there's a strong possibility, my friend, that if you didn't go to WWE, you could be the man in the new Billy Corgan era of Impact Wrestling. Just saying. Then we got Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Adam Cole, baby, versus my dude, Big Mike Elgin. Big Mike, we've been back and forth, brother, talking it up, trying to get you as a guest. You know, we keep, international things getting in the way of having you on the Big Slam Nation, brother. When you're ready, I'm ready. Give me a call back, and we'll set that up. And, of course, talking back and forth, and not just with me, but with everybody else. Big Mike is looking to get the big guy, Ryback, as a tag team partner there in New Japan. And those guys, if they were tag teaming together, and I know I'm drifted off here and there, friends, but I just feel like talking pro wrestling this weekend no matter what. And New Japan and Ring of Honor are hooked at the hip anyway, so bear with me. Picture Big Mike Elgin along with the big guy, Ryback. Love him or hate Ryback, that dude is a massive, muscled monster that does moves that the WWE stopped him from doing, that out here on the indies, and if he was in Ring of Honor or New Japan, this cat's flying through the air and doing insane moves for a guy his size. You get him and Mike Elgin together, they right away, bottom line, become the new Doc and Gordy, the new Hanson and Brody. Yeah, I said it. Take it to the bank, brother. Yes, the new Dr. Death, the new Terry Bam Bam Gordy, or the new Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody tag team. Yeah, I know KES is out there. My brothers, I'm backing you guys up all the time. Bullet Club, 2 big men left, and they're in the WWE now. So, New Japan is really looking. They love their big Gaijin tag teams. and my friend Mike Elgin and Ryback, Big Guy and Big Mike, would have all the gold, all the girls, all the money, and all the guys shaking in their boots. So this is our match, and it's not the main event. What? Yeah, here's one of those situations I talk about where world champion here in Ring of Honor, he's not the main event. You'll see why when we get to it. Little libation again, my friends. Now, these are two of my favorite wrestlers, and I'm putting this out there for a reason. I love these guys to death. Adam Cole, now of course part of the Bullet Club, which is fantastic in my opinion. Two former world champions. Oh, one former, one current. And this is a match that I've been looking forward to since I heard it was coming and when they signed the contract. And I, sadly tonight, was disappointed because the match, for whatever reason, just fell flat. Something was missing. I don't know what it is. Things just didn't click. The stars didn't align. The moon didn't shine. The sun was in the wrong spot of the day. I don't know what to tell you, man. All I can say is the match was what it was. Cole retained via pinfall. And that was it. Which leads us now to the, by God, thankfully, the world title wasn't the main event. Because the main event, my friends, was something that's only happened 5 times before. That's right, in the history of Ring of Honor, this next match has only happened 5 times. What am I talking about? Well, Ring of Honor guys, you know what it is. New boots. We're talking about Ladder War. This would be Ladder War 6. Now, you may be WWE fans. You may be TNA fans. You may be different indie fans here and there, and you've seen ladder matches. You've seen TLC. You've seen Full Metal Mayhem. If you've never seen a Ladder War match in Ring of Honor, then my friends, you've never seen a really unbelievable, godlike level of intensity of a ladder match. Yes, I'm pushing it. Go back. See things where Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, and El Generico, Sami Zayn, guys like that who put on matches, the American Wolves, now known as just the Wolves in TNA, the BRISCOES. But tonight's match, oh my God. This is what you pray for, the chance to see. And just when you think it can't get any better, it does. Note, 46-year-old Christopher Daniels is the MVP of this Match of the Year candidate. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. And I'm telling you right now. Did I mention there was buckets of blood in this match? I can't call this match. I really can't. You have to see it to feel it and understand it. But I'm going to do what I can to get you and let you know what happened. I'm going to give you the high spots. Note, crowd chanting, Bucks of Youth. Yeah, Bucks of Youth, you don't know? Well, if you're not following Broken Matt Hardy in TNA right now in Impact Wrestling, And I know you Ring of Honor fans are, because you're Matt Hardy marks. They hit a little funny thing where talking about the Young Bucks. Broken Matt Hardy is he talking a little funny. You know it. If you don't, check it out. Anyway, yeah, buckets are not buckets. Yes, buckets of blood. I just fell out laughing when they hit that off, Bucks of Youth. But yes, the Bucks of Youth chant was going, which that's Ring of Honor, and these are the diehards of the thing, so you know they're watching it, so you ought to. And it's an ode to Broken Matt Hardy on Impact Wrestling. Check out the Total Deletion 1 and 2, and you'll see what I'm talking about. My God, first the WWE crowd was chanting delete, delete, and now this. Kudo to the internet, the IWC, who were tearing it up at the WWE, and now here, of course, in Ring of Honor. Did I mention there was unbelievable amount of ladders and tables at ringside? We had, all right, let's get who we have here. We have the Addiction, we have the Young Bucks, and we have the Motor City Machine Guns in this match. You guys know the history between these 6 men, especially Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, the best in the business, and Motor City Machine Guns. And of course the Young Bucks, these guys have all been kicking their asses across the planet for years. Alright, so the Addiction came in and laid everybody out with chairs. And then it became a super kick party, a go-go. The Bucks and the Motor City Machine Guns went to war early on after joining forces and tossing the champs, throwing the Addiction out of the ring. Daniels got busted wide open by a ladder shot over his left eye, which just boom, blood everywhere, and that eye swelled shut. Matt powerbombed Daniels onto a ladder bridge, held it in place as Nick hit Daniels with a senton. 46-year-old Christopher Daniels. Guns set tables up all over the floor, and the Young Bucks took a section of the barricade and made a bridge with it. Kaz was infighting with the Bucks, and he hit a cutter on Nick from the top of a ladder. Everybody took turns going through tables. And the biggest and the baddest was Nick nailing a 450 from the top of a ladder through the table on the floor. Daniels, once again, is now busted open in the back of his head. His entire skull. He does not have a crimson mask. Daniels has a crimson hood. This guy is drenched in blood. His entire skull, again, a crimson hood. I love that. I've never been able to say that before, but now he's got a crimson hood. 6-man war on 3 ladders in the ring. One by one, the bodies start getting thrown off the ladders. Nick Jackson's the last man standing, and the Guns and the Addictions picked up the ladder and threw it over, launching Nick through a table on the floor that literally exploded into sawdust. Absolutely sick. The Guns picked a dazed and blood-soaked Daniels on a ladder. They stood it up, and Kazarian accidentally nails him with a chair. The Guns double up on Kaz and slam him into a ladder, and then they slam it to the mat as Daniels was still trapped in it. Again, Christopher Daniels, 46 years old. The Guns and the Bucks go mano a mano, and a super kick party erupts again. One kick sends Daniels into the barricade bridge, and this sucker bounced off to the concrete. Kaz is now bleeding profusely. Nick climbs a ladder and it gets knocked over, and then he stepped off, hits the top rope, and nails an indie taker on Alex Shelley, who's on the floor. The Bucks almost have the belts, and Itachi does a run-in and makes the save. Daniels hits angel wings on Shelley off the ladder. Jay White does a run-in and tosses Itachi off the top through a table. Chris Daniels then low blows him, and Kazarian hits a cutter to the floor and puts White through a table. Daniels hits the best moonsault ever on Matt Jackson, posing before he and Kaz grab a table and a ladder, set it up, lay Matt on it as Nick put a ladder low bridge on the other side. Nick and Daniels fight it out on the ladder. He rakes his eyes, and Nick backdropped through the ladder he set up. Matt and Kaz battle, and Nick climbs up for the belts, but stops and nails a mega indie taker and completely buries Kaz through a table. Oh my God, this is insane. The Bucks then both climb up and take the title belts. This match was totally insane, batshit crazy, high spots, hell of an ending. I am done. This match completely drained me. This pay-per-view had me going out of my mind. Ring of Honor, you guys nailed this sucker. This pay-per-view was damn near perfect. And even the two matches that didn't fly still put it out there on the ground and did what they had to do, and it happened. So two matches out of all them, and they didn't suck. They just weren't, they couldn't match the intensity, the grandeur, the insanity that these other matches put forth. Ring of Honor, you, my friends, did it. I am the show, Bill Schuyler. One Wrestling is where I'm from. I am the official reporter for one Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling for TNA, Impact Wrestling, NXT, and Ring of Honor as well. Whew. Big Slam Nation. Hit us up on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Every week, the Big Slam Nation gives you the best of what's going on in the business and professional wrestling. That's Big Ray of Big Ray Show. Big Ray also on WrestleZone Radio, the Impact Rebellion, along with Ben Hameen, and myself doing my Back in the Day segment, and OK Fabe, who you can follow at OK Fabe, Breaking Kayfabe with OK Fabe. He's got a segment on that show as well. That comes out every Friday on WrestleZone, the podcast. Check it out. Be part of it. Big Ray also, I'm pushing the brother because he is my man. Big Ray also has Big Ray's Wrestling Podcast. And I also do a Back in the Day segment on there as well. Then, in the Big Slam Nation, we got the Nature Boy Fame Black, who does the Raw Rundown every Monday. OK Fabe once again, he's taking care of SmackDown Live. Billy Ray Valentine at Obi-Wan You Know Me. 8-Track Brown, the Pharaoh of Fancies, where you find him. And the Professor Quintana. He's got a show called The Professor's Perspective. Check him out on YouTube at PROFPW Hustle. And speaking of the PW Hustle, that's our sister program to the Big Slam Nation for adults only. And that's where Billy Ray Valentine, 8-Track Brown, Professor Quintana, they and Fame Black come together and just lay down some wrestling and other things going on in the world that you gotta check it out to understand it, but it's worth your time and will entertain the hell out of you. Now again, like I said, I take care of Ring of Honor for these major pay-per-views, and I am the official reporter for Impact Wrestling, so I cover their shows and pay-per-views and review. And then NXT, I am the official NXT reporter. I break that down every week and along with their takeover shows. Follow me again at U, that's the letter U, got DA show, SHOW on Twitter. Follow me, I'll follow you back. Talk with my people all the time on Twitter. I'm on Facebook as well, Bill Schuyler. And of course, you're going to hit the like, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Subscribe to it, like it, follow it. Leave comments down below. That's the only way I can improve and do shows and get out there what you want. Hey, you know what? If you didn't like things I had to say tonight, well, you know what? Talk about it. I got no problem going back and forth and having a discussion with fellow wrestling fans, because that's what this is all about. It's about wrestling. It's about having fun. It's about seeing the best wrestling out there. And it's about talking about the best and pointing out things that may not be your cup of tea, or just outright everybody's looking at it and saying, what in the hell was that nonsense they had on TV last night? And then we get together and you let those companies, those promoters know, man, put down our hard coin and our time, and what were you giving us last night? And it works the same way, that when they give you that gold, you got to let them know that they're doing it right, so they can push the right guys who are giving you that outstandingness and continue down that road. Speaking of that, I will see you at the matches, my friend, and on top of that, I will catch you down the road.